Jeremy, you gotta go. You're blocking that traffic from coming through, Jeremy.
It's a green
You
light.
can't do
What
that.
are we talking about?
You've blocked that traffic from coming through.
What
You
traffic
blocked
am I
that
blocking?
This
Jeremy.
traffic right here.
You can't do
They're
that.
not moving.
They can't go left because the funeral's
Jeremy, what
going
are you
on.
doing?
They're trying to drive straight.
I'm not. I'm in the center. There's a turning
What?
lane
Oh,
there.
now you're at-
Since that Monday that you're saying that, because I talked to her on Friday when I don't know what we're talking about
Since
right
that
now.
Monday.
Right.
Since when we spoke, it was a Thursday that we spoke last, right?
Here's a free tip from every defense attorney who ever lived. When detectives read you your rights, you use them. 6 words, "I'd like a lawyer, please," and you go home. On September 26, 2019, Jeremy Dewitte walked into the Orange County Sheriff's Office, sat down across from detectives, and did the exact opposite. For about 2.5 hours, voluntarily. This is the story of a man who was handed silence on a silver platter and could not stop talking.
Just real quick, I want to swear you in real quick. So, raise your right hand for me. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Corp.
Okay. Today, we're at PSD at 2500 West Colonial Drive at the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome back to Detained and Deranged, where we back the badge and let the tape do the talking. Tonight's episode, the 2-hour interview. If you're new here, meet Jeremy Dewitte, Central Florida's most famous fake cop. For years, he ran a funeral escort company called Metro State Special Services that, according to investigators, looked an awful lot like a private police force. And in the fall of 2019, he sat down with detectives to explain the whole thing. Grab a seat. This one's a marathon.
Okay. You didn't do a funeral escort on Saturday? And then
Can't answer that question.
did you do the
Corp,
ride?
we're here talking about impersonating a police
I know.
officer.
Did you do the ride out of Sanford?
Repo, take this intersection and keep this shit under control.
The only thing that was discussed was I asked him for the video,
Okay.
and he said he didn't bring it, and
Yeah,
he's working on getting it.
There's
Here's the setup. A funeral escort is a real, legal, useful job, guiding a procession safely through traffic. Nobody's mocking that. But DeWitte's operation, investigators say, went a few steps further. Vehicles dressed up with light bars, uniforms, badges, push bumpers, everything a real agency has except the one thing that actually matters, the legal authority to do any of it. In September 2019, deputies arrested him for impersonating a police officer while his Metro State crew directed a funeral procession. They seized his body-worn camera, and when they got a warrant to look at what was on it, they found he had secretly recorded a conversation with the state attorney's office. Days later, DeWitte agreed to come in and set the record straight. In his mind, that is.
I just gotta ask, what authority do you have to do those type of escorts?
Corporal. I thought we were here to talk about impersonating a police officer.
We are.
First off, that's not even me.
Okay.
So, because
Well, let's just
I know
say-
what
let's
funeral
just say
that is.
this.
That's not even me.
Let's just say whoever this
Right.
is in this intersection has.
Now, here's what makes this interview special. It wasn't an ambush. Nobody dragged him in. This was a voluntary sit-down, the kind where a detective slides a bottle of water across the table and reminds you, more than once, that you are free to get up and leave whenever you want. Most people in that chair say as little as humanly possible. DeWitte treated it like a keynote address. He didn't come to answer questions. He came to educate the room.
Since that Thursday that we spoke, and then workers' comp told you you need to get all this stuff cleared up.
Which we did on Friday.
Okay. So from that day, Thursday.
And the detectives barely had to work for it. Ask a short question, lean back, and let the man fill the silence. And fill it he did. Roughly 2.5 hours of explanations, history, and the fine print of statutes he was absolutely certain would clear him. Every question about the lights, the badges, the traffic got the same treatment. A long, confident lecture on why something that looked exactly like impersonating a police officer was, in his telling, completely legal. Trust him. He'd read the law.
So you're going to show me what you want to show me, and you're not going to show me what everyone else tells you not to show me? Is that
I'm
what
gonna tell
we're
you right
doing?
now,
Is that the
listen.
game we're playing?
Nobody's told me not to show you anything.
There's a rhythm to it, once you notice it. He keeps circling back to the same handful of claims like repeating them enough will harden them into fact. He was just directing traffic. Verify exact wording from footage. He was just protecting the procession. Verify exact wording from footage. It's all a misunderstanding, and everyone else simply doesn't get the business. That's the loop. But the detectives aren't asking about the business. They're asking why he was stopping civilians on public roads, and every lap around that mantra walks him closer to the question he should never have answered at all.
As far as I know, because we're not talking right now, so
But we told you when we had the interview, Sergeant Miller and I both told you couldn't do those.
General Reese, he goes out wide. My guy's sitting here at a 45. He goes out wide and goes out and around, so we're thinking he's gonna go straight again.
Here's the problem with talking for 2.5 hours. Detectives don't actually need a confession. They just need you to describe what you did, in your own words, on the record. And that is precisely what he handed them. He walked them through the whole operation. The equipment, the traffic direction, the uniforms. Every detail he offered up as proof of his innocence was also, conveniently, a detailed account of the exact conduct he was under investigation for. He wasn't defending himself. He was narrating the evidence.
I can't see how close he is because the truck's blocking the actual.
Always I ask because
We do have Randall's video where he does that. Randall.
And what carries this footage is the confidence. There's not a flicker of doubt on the man's face. He isn't nervous. He isn't hedging. He genuinely seems to believe that if he explains it one more time, a little slower, the detectives will nod, apologize, and hand him a real badge. Never appears to occur to him that the people across that table already have the videos, the reports, and the witnesses, and that every extra sentence is a gift wrapped with a bow.
And they don't do everything they can as a law enforcement officer
We're
to
not
follow up
committing
and
a
arrest.
crime,
That's
Corporal.
that's what you think. But he thinks you are, correct? I told you I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be honest.
So the helicopter was following us. You know, in Pine Hills,
Yeah.
helicopters always.
And this was not his first run-in with the law. Dewitte already carried a long history tied to the very same act, playing cop in public and daring anyone to question him. There's also a 2005 conviction that put him on the sex offender registry, which is part of the public record. And we'll leave it right there. Inside that interview room, none of it slowed him down. If anything, it just gave him more material for the lecture.
He knew he was
Yeah, of
because
course.
He looked right at it, he goes, yeah, he got me. He
Yeah,
got
I
me.
was wondering why he was in the funeral. Yeah.
So you made out our guy in the funeral.
Right.
So, and do you realize after that, all the stuff you do, like stopping the intersections, using the air horns, everything, you stopped all of that?
Credit where it's due. The detectives played this perfectly. Calm, patient, professional. They didn't argue. They didn't take the bait when he tried to turn an interview into a debate. They just kept the recorder running and let a man who was certain he was the smartest person in the building keep proving otherwise. That is the job, done right. No theatrics, no ego, just steady questions and a whole lot of patience while the subject does the heavy lifting for them.
What we're talking about right now,
So there's
because I
two
can't
lanes.
see anything.
There are 2 lanes on the Positive Island going north, right? See this lane?
Okay.
Can you hold both lanes? If it's a funeral escort, are you not only supposed to be in one lane?
Well,
I read all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't.
I didn't know.
There's a whole
I didn't
report
know.
on it, and I'll be honest with you, it had nothing to do with what I was looking at, so I just read the little captions.
Watch how he frames the business. In his telling, the lights and the uniforms weren't pretending to be police. They were safety. The traffic stops weren't stops. They were protecting the procession. Verify exact wording from footage. It's a tidy story. The only problem is that directing traffic on a public road and ordering strangers to stop their cars is not a thing a private citizen in a costume gets to do, no matter how official the costume looks.
once the funeral passes it, it says all traffic control devices are not valid. And that's what the judges have said too. So I'm confused. So I'm not.
Let's listen.
Whoa.
I'm not.
Oh, you
I'm
told
not
them to stop.
stopping that traffic
Yeah, hi, Jeremy.
at all.
It's a
And-
green straight.
And that costume is the whole case. The badges, the uniforms, the marked vehicles, the light bars. He talks about it like a proud small business owner walking you through his inventory. But every item on that list is another brick in the wall the state is building, because the entire point of the operation was to look like law enforcement to the average driver on the road. When you spend 2 hours explaining how convincing your fake police department was, you are not helping your case. You are the case.
So let me ask you one question.
Go ahead.
If you guys know that we're doing a funeral, right? Okay. And the funeral has the right of way, and they didn't go take the light, why didn't you stop the cars that were cutting in, and why didn't you write them tickets for cutting into the funeral?
Let's be clear about the lesson here because it's the spine of the whole video. A person being questioned has an absolute right to stop at any moment. 2 words ended: lawyer and goodbye. Dewitte had that right the entire time. He was reminded of it, and he declined it over and over for about 2.5 hours. This isn't a story about a man getting grilled. It's a story about a man refusing, again and again, the one protection that actually would have helped him.
Pull over, kept telling him, pull over, pull over.
Well, I never say pull over. I did say
Well,
pull out of the funeral.
What he's saying is, that's exactly what he said. I'm paraphrasing.
Pull over is a very bit different word.
Okay,
Corporal.
So, what did all that talking buy him? Nothing good. Verify exact admissions from footage. The detectives walked out with hours of a suspect explaining, in his own confident voice, exactly what he'd been doing and exactly why he thought he could. The man who couldn't stop talking talked himself straight into the record, and the professionals across the table never had to raise their voices to get there. They just had to let him keep going.
Off-duty officer.
Yes, the off-duty
Yes.
officer. Do you remember when you were in that intersection, you were directing traffic in that intersection? You said, I wasn't really directing traffic, I was just telling him to get over. Do you remember that?
Only him.
Okay.
That's the 2-hour interview. Back the badge. Every night, officers and detectives do the calm, careful, unglamorous work that keeps the rest of us safe. And this is a masterclass in exactly that. Dewitte had one smart move available to him, and it was silence. He picked the microphone instead. If you want more cases where the professionals stay ice cold and the excuses fall apart, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and tell me in the comments, how long would you have lasted in that chair? We read them all.